Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Perfect Odyssey podcast. I'm your host, Amalia Henry, and here we talk about identity, confidence, self trust, and what it takes to live a life of freedom you truly desire. Have you ever noticed how easy it is for your mind to imagine everything going wrong? The worst case scenario? Before you even send the email, before you even have the conversation, before you even start the business, before you even launch the product or the service, your mind has already convinced you that it's all going to fail. But if your mind can create a worst case scenario that hasn't even happened yet, why can't it also create a best case scenario that hasn't happened yet? Today, I want to talk about speaking more positively over your life, over your business, imagining the best case scenario, it actually working out, and why doing this is not wishful thinking. It's actually one of the most powerful, healthiest ways you can build in life or as an entrepreneur. Life in general, but really and truly, we're talking about entrepreneurs here. Because hello? Babes, we're getting rich. We're getting rich off our passions, our skills, our ourselves. Okay, so let's get into it. Our brains naturally expect danger. Your brain isn't designed to make you successful. It's actually designed to keep you alive. Let's talk about negativity bias. And I'll give a few examples. So imagine there's 100 people. 99 of those people gave you praises, gave you a bunch of compliments. And that one person, they gave you one criticism. What do you think about all day? More than likely, it's the criticism. Your brain naturally holds on to the negative more than the positive. Not because you're a negative person, but because your brain is scanning for potential problems. Example 2, you send an important text and the person doesn't respond immediately. They take a few hours. Your brain doesn't say, oh, maybe they're busy. It automatically goes to, oh my gosh, what if I said something wrong? Are they upset with me? Our brain naturally fills in the blank with the negative before we consider the positive. And that's exactly what we do in business sometimes. Shoot, I've done this before. I sent an email and I don't get a response for a few days. And I'm like questioning, like, is this making sense? Is what I'm doing making sense? So it's definitely natural. But you should also catch yourself. So, as entrepreneurs, as aspiring entrepreneurs, as someone who knows that a life of freedom is the goal, a life of success, peace, happiness, all these positive things, you can't afford to be rehearsing negativity and failure all day. Entrepreneurship already comes with all these uncertainties. And if you're constantly imagining failure or the worst case scenario, you're creating stress that hasn't even happened yet. Since I started my journey, I've been so cautious of the things that I think because, for one, your thoughts create your feelings. Your feelings, those are your emotions, right? So depending on what you're feeling emotionally, it affects your actions and your actions affects your results, right? So it's important to think better thoughts. So let me give you an example. I have my upcoming masterclass, Blueprint to Freedom, coming up on August 11th. And if I tell myself, boy, I don't know, I don't think anybody's what to buy. I don't think it's worthy. It would cause me to feel bad about myself and what it is that I'm trying to put out there. I would then feel discouraged. I would stop, talking about it. I would stop posting about it. I would stop trying to get people to join the masterclass. And what would my outcome be? Nobody showing up to the masterclass. Nobody showing up to the masterclass, but that's not what to happen. That's just an example of things that we put out there, thinking and speaking negatively over the things that you don't even want to happen. like you literally don't even want this scenario to happen in your life. So like, why are we speaking as if that's going to happen? The worst case scenario. It doesn't make any sense. There is so much power in the tongue. There is so much power in the thoughts that you think. There's so much power in the feelings you feel, because that then affects your actions. You know what I realize about fear? Fear loves to disguise itself as if you're preparing for the worst case scenario. What's that saying I used to hear? Prepare for the worst, expect the best. I mean, I guess, but I don't know. I don't know. I'm not preparing for no damn worst. I can't lie to you. I can't lie to you. I'm not preparing for no worst. Like, if it happens, then it happens. All right, then cool. But I'm just not preparing for the worst. Why are we preparing for the worst? Like, is it me? Is it me, or is it just that like I'm like so delusional? You know what? It is what it is. I don't mind. I am calling in everything positivity, everything in abundance, everything good, everything rainbows and sunshine in my life. Obviously, sometimes it doesn't go that way, but you know what? I'm going to turn it to a perspective that works for me. I'm never suffering. I don't consider anything bad that I go through as bad. Like it was just a lesson for me to do better next time. That's just me though. I would say this: preparing is healthy, but constantly expecting failure isn't preparation. It's just you rehearsing disappointment. It's as if you're calling in the disappointment versus anything else. Like, what are we doing here? Like, sometimes it is best to be delusional, have those delusional thoughts that, like, yes, it's going to work out. Those are the times that ideas come to mind for you to do something, be somewhere, and then eventually all works out. Regardless, it's all going to work out. Whether you stress or you have a good attitude about whatever the situation is, it will always work out. So, like, why are we stressing? Why are we stressing? Again, it's definitely so much easier said than done. Because I be crying too, don't worry. I be crying too. But at the same time, sometimes I find that I cry and I worry about things, not because I don't think it's going to work out. I know it's going to work out. But in that moment, I just don't know what the next step is. Things just feel so overwhelming for me. So, baby, I cry, I let it out, and then I'm back to work. And then it all works out. Regardless of if you stress yourself out or you're calm and grounded, it will always work out. So, whenever your mind says, what if it doesn't work out? I want you to answer it with another question. But what if it does? What if it does work out? What if it works out even better than how you expected it to work out? What if this podcast reaches someone exactly in the moment that they needed it the most? What if the client says yes? What if this business changes my life, my family's future forever? What if I make more money than I ever imagined? What if this season is preparing me instead of punishing me? What if I look at all of this from a different perspective, a perspective of possibility versus limitation? We spend so much time preparing for pain when we can also spend even more time preparing for possibility. I was even having a conversation with another friend, problems here, problems there. Kids are in the mix now. And she was just saying that there's this, there's that, school's coming up, da 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 da. And she was stressed. And which is so understandable. Come on now, like. But then I really had to explain to her, like, girl, look at your life. Every season that you thought would have broken you few months ago, girl, you were complaining then. Look at you now. You're still here. You got through that. No, you're here. No, there's something else. It will always work out. it will always work out. As long as you're living, as long as you're alive, it will work out. Comes to a point where, like you just have to have faith. You really just have to have faith. No matter the situation that you're going through in the moment, you really just have to have faith that, boy, it's gonna work out. Some way, somehow, it's gonna work out. Go outside and go touch some grass. Cry it out. Take a walk. Go to the gym. Talk about it to someone. Journal. Go meditate. Go do whatever to get yourself back in a more grounded state versus just being there anxious and depressed. There comes a point that you just have to believe before you see. Believe that it's going to work out before you see how it's going to work out. This is what I say when it comes to, having faith and trust. Faith in yourself, your vision, trust in yourself. If you believe in a higher power, that too, there's always going to be some type of problem that exists in whatever moment. But faith is believing, faith is knowing that these problems won't have the final word. It will get sorted. It will get sorted. Relax. I just want to end this off by saying, speak more positively over your life, over your business. The conversations you have with yourself becomes the environment your mind lives in. Because if every day you're saying, oh my God, I'm so behind, I'm failing, it's always one thing after the next. Nothing ever works out for me. Eventually, your mind will always look for the evidence to support those statements. Whatever you believe, your mind will give you the evidence. Your mind will give you the evidence. Think about it as if we are living in a simulation. This is a movie. Think about that, right? And anything you constantly think, anything that you put out there, anything that you believe, you will see it. Baby, you will see it. It will come true. Speak more positively over your life, over your business, over you and your success. You and getting to that bag, you and getting to that life of freedom, whatever that looks like for you. Speak that over your life, because what's the point? Like, why are you trying to live a depressing and anxious life? Like, what are we doing here? I want you to flip all those negative statements into something more positive. Opportunities are finding me. I have everything I need for this season in my life. I am becoming the person capable of everything I desire. My business is growing exponentially. I am already successful. I don't need to know the full plan on how things are going to work out for me. I just know it will, point blank. I only need to keep taking the next step. Your words don't magically change reality overnight, but they absolutely change the person who shows up to face reality. Here is what I want you to remember. You already spend so much time imagining the worst case scenario, everything that could go wrong. But start imagining everything, all the possibilities of things going right. Put that energy out there. Put that feeling of relief, like it all worked out. Put that energy out there, because both futures exist in your imagination until reality catches up. So why spend so much time rehearsing the one you don't even want? Trust yourself. Trust that it is working out. Speak life over yourself. Protect your mind and protect your words. And the next time fear asks if it will all fall apart, smile and just ask, but what if it all comes together better than how I imagined it? Positive thinking isn't denying reality. It's choosing to not let fear write a story that hasn't even happened yet. You can prepare wisely, make smart decisions, manage risk, and still believe that good things are possible and that you are worthy of good things. So, before we wrap up, I want to personally invite you to my Blueprint to Freedom Masterclass. This is a 2-hour virtual experience designed to help you start intentionally creating the life of freedom that you imagine for yourself. One that feels aligned, fulfilling, and free. Who wants to be in a job that they don't like just because they want to make some money? That doesn't sound like freedom to me. That doesn't sound like freedom to me at all. Together, we'll get clear on what freedom looks like for you. We'll talk about the beliefs that's keeping you stuck, keeping you from getting to that place, and build a practical roadmap to help you move forward to the life and business that you are meant to create. A better future does not start when your circumstances change. It starts when you intentionally decide to think differently, move differently, and believe differently. If you're ready to start living the life of freedom that you desire, join me on August 11th at 6:30 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time, and let's start building toward the best case scenario. I'd love to have you there. You can find all the details in the show notes. And I can't wait to see you inside. Thank you so much for listening to the Perfect Odyssey podcast. Again, my name is Amalia Henry, and I will see you next Monday. Bye.